All right, how's everybody doing tonight? My name's Christoph Wyman, and I am the proud author of a book that just hit the press, a hot new book called Getting to Wow. Everybody wins with 5-star service. Do you believe that, sir? I believe that you believe it. Well, this book is all about 5-star service. And when I say 5-star service, I'm not talking about fine dining service. Because you can get, do you believe that you can get or that you can deliver 5-star service in any venue, any establishment, any type of restaurant, any type of bar? You agree that that is true? Yes. Awesome. So you guys are all bartenders and bar apprentices, bar professionals. How many of you are bartenders? And bar assistants or bar apprentices? About half and half, okay. And you're all at different places in your career. Some of you look like you probably aren't even legal to drink yet. Oh Lord, look at this. All right. This is a good presentation. Cheers to all of you. You know what, before we start, I actually want to applaud all of you. You know why? Because there's a hell of a lot of other things that you could be doing right now at this hour on a Thursday night than being here and investing your time, effort, and energy in yourself. Am I right? Right. But this is important. And because you're investing in yourself, you're probably going to be more successful than the other people out there. Right? So I want to commend you and applaud yourself. Pat yourself on the back. Pat somebody next to you on the back if they allow you to. So what is wow? What is wow? There you go. To wow your guests, right? Let me ask you, you guys are bartenders and bar apprentices, bar professionals, right? What business are you in, Sir and Dream? What business are you in? Service business, right? So you're not really in the bar business, right? That's just kind of like the vehicle. Is that kind of true? And not only service, but hospitality. And who are the people that we are doing service for? Guests. And they are what? People. Right? I mean, bare bones, you are in the people business. Right? And as bartenders, so first of all, front of the house kind of doesn't get too many accolades. Am I right? Front of the house, you all know what front of the house means. Okay. Because we live in a, I call it a celebrity cult, celebrity chef cult culture, right? Right? Especially in Las Vegas. Who is considered, I don't know, by some people, the most important position in any restaurant or any dining establishment? What?
Head chef.
Head chef, right? Celebrity chef. That's what at least television tells us, and that's what our culture tells us. And so that's the back of the house. Front of the house, there's no TV shows about servers. Not yet, right, George? Not yet. We have one in process. I'll tell you about that later if you're interested. There's no TV shows about the hostesses, are there? You know, like hostess cat fights or whatever. That would be cool. I'm kidding. Somebody else developed that show. There are shows about bartenders, but it's not really about the people service aspect of it, right? And this is not to knock any show that's on television, but I would say that the front of the house is really the unsung heroes of the business, right? Because no matter how great the food is and no matter how creative that chef is, if that doesn't get from there to the guest, if it's not delivered in an experience by the front of the house staff, the bartenders, the servers, the service team, then what they do is just food on a plate. I don't know if any of you are chefs in here too, but that's the truth, right? So I want you to know, first of all, that what you guys do is so incredibly important. I'm going to put my book down. It looks like I'm doing an advertisement. I am. So the message of Getting to Wow is a lot of different things. This book is a journey of taking you from where you are currently, wherever that is, whatever that means, to a level of elevated service. When somebody comes into your bar, do you have any idea why they're there?
They're drunk.
Sometimes it is. Absolutely. But does everybody come into your bar for that same exact reason?
No.
No. There's some multitude of reasons. Shout them out to me. What are some reasons why people come? Socialize. Gamble.
Network.
Health inspection. Secret shopper. Exactly. Some people come because they want to have fun, right? Some people come because they want to get wasted. Some people come because they don't want any of that. They just want a peaceful, stress-free environment. Why they're at their bar, I don't know. No, but sometimes they just come and they want to sit and relax. And so we talked about your job is you're in the people business, but what else is it? You guys are counselors, psychologists, therapists. What else? Consultants. You know what somebody told me this afternoon? Google. Like whenever somebody wants something, they ask the bartender, "Hey, dude, what whether it's what do you call it? You have a bet with somebody, like trying to figure out the answer to the bet, or a hookup, right? Everybody asks the bartender, "Hey, do you know somebody who's a good mechanic around here that can hook me up?" Or so you guys have a multitude of hats, a multitude of positions that you fulfill. None of those things are on the job description when you sit down with the manager and says, "Well, here's what you're going to be doing," because it's not laid out to you, but you understand. And yet, what you do is kind of in the background, right? Every day in every restaurant, every good restaurant, they have what's called a pre-shift lineup, right? How many of you have ever been to the pre-shift lineup? About 6 or 7 of you. Why? Because the pre-shift lineup is for the servers, maybe the hostesses because they want to taste the food, right? And the chefs. And where are the bartenders? Where are you guys and girls? At the bar, because you are setting up, right? You're getting ready for the shift. First one's in, last one's out, right? And so we know that you are not given a lot of respect. It's not a lot of, it is cooler, I guess, to be a bartender than to be a server. If you're a bartender at Omnia, that's a lot cooler than saying, well, I'm a waiter every Movies or whatever, right? Right? Like you'll promote that, but if you're a waiter. But the point is that what you do is seemingly not that important, and yet it so really is. So I want to tell you about something called setting the tone. Setting the tone, or setting the stage. We've all heard that first impressions are super important. Do you guys go to bars when you're not working?
No.
No, stay away from those places. Isn't it true that there are some bartenders that are phenomenal, that are amazing, that are guest-focused, that are in tune with you, that have positive, upbeat energy, that are welcoming, and then there are other bartenders, and you go to their bar and they go, "We can get you." What? We can get you. What can get you? And first of all, I don't even know what language that is. And none of you in here, I'm not talking about any of you in here, because none of you have ever done that. But, when somebody sits down at your bar, we talked about everybody has a different agenda. Everybody comes for a different reason. Some people want to be wowed in a exuberant, spectacle kind of way. Some people just want to be wowed by you remembering that they were in here 3 times in this past week, so you should remember their drink. Yes? Maybe? Energy. Energy. Who determines whether you guys are in rapt attention, I love it. Either you're had a lot of shots, or this is making sense. Who determines how a guest experience is going to be? I do. I'm not even there. No, I'm kidding. Yes, I do. The bartender does. And what I'm talking about is setting the tone. When somebody comes and sits down at your bar, engagement, energy, enthusiasm, these 3 E's. I've been places where it's amazing, like I feel welcome. I feel like, I came here and I said I'm just waiting for a table with my wife, but I feel so welcomed. I feel like we're connecting. Yeah, I would be more comfortable sitting in a booth because I'm lazy and I don't like sitting at high tops. But you've engaged me and you've welcomed me and you've made me feel something that it doesn't matter about me going to the table anymore. And that's what I want to remind you of. I know you've all heard this before, but you spent 10 weeks on knowledge, techniques, and skills. And you're still going to be working on that. And that is so incredibly important, right? Because you need to know how to make your drinks. You need to know all the details of your business, of the craft. But that's only step 2 of 4 steps or 4 pillars of WOW service. You know what step number 1 is? The internal aspects. If you come into this business and you're focusing just on skills, techniques, and knowledge, you're going to be fantastic. You're going to be phenomenal. You're going to make a lot of money. But you know what? You're not going to be that successful because you haven't focused on your internal aspects first. Your mindset, your positive energy, your attitude. There's a thing that I call the tips linked to emotions roller coaster. We all know how a roller coaster goes. So any of you ever experienced this or observed this? Hey, how was your shift tonight? Oh, it was fantastic. I know that's not how your voice is. It was fantastic. Why? Well, because my regular Cheryl, she came in and she brought her 3 friends and they stayed for 3 hours and they double tipped me. And then this person came in and he won at the game, so he, gave me an extra $100 and blah, 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 blah. Okay, how was your shift the next day? How was your shift? Sucked. Why? Why did it suck? Crappy customers, cheap asses, tight wads. Nobody ever says that, I know. Sorry. Pristine ears, I know, sorry. But have you ever seen this, experienced this, or seen any of your colleagues or coworkers doing this? Why would you, in a business that is the most unpredictable, that has so many factors that you can't control, why would you let your feelings be linked to something like your tips? And oh, by the way, which might have come first? Is it the crappy customers, the cheap customers, the tight wads, the crappy shift, this sucks, or the bad attitude? I'm just offering you an idea, a possibility. Look, there are certain things that we can't control. We know that, right? But we can control how we approach it and how we respond to it. Those are really the only 2 things in your whole arena. That you can't control who's coming in, you can't control what they're going to do, what they're going to say, how long they're going to stay, or anything about that. But you can control how you approach them. Hey, how you doing tonight? Having a great night? So glad you came in. Is your first time here? Yeah, wow. As opposed to, I'll be with you in a minute. Okay, what? What do you need? What get you? Right? And I know that, yes, ma'am.
But you also have to be able to read your customer, because some people just want to be left alone and gamble.
Absolutely. Thank you. Absolutely. And I'm not trying to simplify it that much. And as because we said at the very beginning, you are in the what business?
Service.
And even more specifically, people business. So here's my question to you. You have spent 10 weeks, not 10 months, seriously. No, we got to finish it eventually. 10 weeks. He's got an idea. You've spent 10 weeks on skill, and I'm not saying that they haven't touched on it, but the majority of it has been skills, techniques, and knowledge. How much time in the last 10 weeks have you spent on developing your personal habits, your personal mindset, your energy, your reading of people, like you say? We were talking about energy a second ago. If we can read our guests, because we're energetic beings, and we're in sync, and we can resonate and pick up vibrations, all that kind of stuff. This is not hokey pokey, right? Like, you understand this stuff, right? Yes? If we can read them, then in the exact converse, then don't you think that they can read us? That's why the fake smile doesn't work. That's why going through the motions and doing every step of service properly, but not having a passion or caring about the guest, doing that thing and then turn around and saying something to your coworker or to your bar back, because they can read you too. And a lot of times they're not tipping you on your performance or on how great the drink is or isn't. Like, dude, I made this amazing killer, whatever your favorite cocktail is, that you are a master at creating and putting a twist on it. Negroni, my favorite. My favorite. Hey, thank you. I just I'm right here. Oh, okay, we're going to have Negronis. But if you did all those technical things properly, perfect, but the heart, the attitude, the energy, the passion is not there, You're missing it. Okay, I'm done.
That
There's so much more. There's so much more. It's a show. Two other things. So I'm going to give you 3 S's. Number 1 is setting the tone. Setting the tone, setting the stage. How you approach. Please don't wait for your guests to say something to you. And yes, they may want to be left alone, but you will pick that up as soon as you have the first approach. How are you tonight, sir? Oh, great. I just came in to have a nice white drink. Perfect looking. And to them, wow, it's going to be you just being aware, but not saying a lot of stuff. Not joking with them. Not calling them boss or skip. Listen, I'm not your boss. Unless your boss comes in, or what did somebody call me? Skip, no, skip. I don't even know what it was. What? Pardon me?
What's up, buddy?
Buddy? I mean, I don't know, but there's this fine line between familiarity and dude. Like, I don't have all the answers. I'm just sharing with you some ideas. I do know one thing. If it's not your boss, don't call him your boss. Okay? And probably don't say, hey, lady. There's a proper way and a nice way to say it. So, setting the tone. You establish how it's going to be. Can't control the actions, the activities, what they do, but you can control the approach and your response. Number 2 is, it's an S. What is it? Smile. Smile. Sure, let's go with that too. No, don't be sorry. Dude, come on. Come on, boss. Servant heart. And when I start saying this, a lot of people get all weird about it. You said earlier we're in the service and hospitality industry. Does everybody still agree with that? Yes, show of hands? Sort of. Okay, happy. So if you are in the service industry, guess what? You can't have the attitude. You're not allowed to think, I'm not your servant. Yes, you shouldn't. They should not. We always have these unenlightened, rude customers once in a while, but there's not the majority of them. I'm not saying, they snap their fingers and you run to them. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that you're here to serve. Do you agree?
Yeah.
If you don't want to serve people, get out of this business. Because it's the service business. Service business. And I'm just reminding you of what you already know. The third S I'm going to share with you is, somebody said to me earlier this afternoon, I said, what kind of business, or what is one of our roles? And they said, entertain. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
And entertain is a lot of different things for different people. Yes, there's flair, and I'm not talking about just that, but it's entertaining the guest and putting on a show. And sometimes the show is big and grand, and sometimes it's you being a conductor and getting these people over here that you feel their energy, that they would have so much in common with this group over here. And hey, do you guys know Chuck over there? I know that's not true. Is your name Chuck? I would be excited. But putting people together. There's all different ways of being a performer, but you have to understand, when you walk into that bar, you are on stage, even if you're not open yet. I'm still good. Dude, if you're behind your, pardon me, ladies and gentlemen, if you are behind your bar, you're on stage. You are starting the show. It might be the prelude or whatever the case may be, but it's a show. And you've got to be ready to perform. You got to leave your stuff at home. You got to put a smile on and actually make it a real smile. You got to know your lines. Please know your specials. How come when I come to a bar, I know it's because you're not in the pre-shift, right? They didn't tell you what the specials were. So does that excuse you?
No.
If I come to have dinner at your bar, shouldn't I get the same service, the same experience as if I went 12 feet away and sat at a table with the server? But a lot of times, it's like the focus is only on the drinks. You don't know your wine list. Do you know your wine list?
Yeah.
Learn. Do your homework. You know what I mean? Drink at home. Know your food. Hey, who knows what the big 8 allergies are? Food allergens? Big 8. Big 8. Give me one.
Eggs.
Eggs.
Peanuts.
Peanuts, 2.
Shellfish.
Dairy is a generalization.
Shellfish.
Shellfish, good. 3. Gluten is not one. But gluten is important.
Onions.
Wheat, onions is not one. That's a preference. Yes, you can. But there's something called the Big 8. In getting to wow, everybody wins with 5-star service. There is a chapter where you will learn all about the big 8. Even though you're not a food server, you are a food server because you're a service and hospitality professional. You're the unsung heroes of the front of the house. You have to know your knowledge as much as the servers do, and guess what? You're going to have to do it on your own because you're not going to be privy to the time with the chef. You should know that menu. It shouldn't be just, here, let me know what you want. Am I making sense? Awesome. So, setting the tone, serving heart, giving them a show. I want to end with one little thing. And that's not what she said. We're gonna edit some of this, right? Okay. There is this is from the chapter called Getting Ready for the Show. Because it's a show. You guys are on stage. There is a commonality between the excitement people feel when they're seeing a show or a concert and the excitement that they feel about having dinner at a new restaurant or bar or their favorite eatery. Restaurants obviously fill the need for sustenance for guests, but most of the time they play an experiential role in the guest's life. For some, this is the place you go to end your busy week on a high note, right? That's why people come to your bar sometimes. It's what you look forward to all week long, talking about the guests. The excitement, anticipation builds, and as you walk in the door, your pulse races. That's from the customer's perspective. That should be yours too, when you're anticipating your guests coming in. Guests are expecting a show. From the sights they see and the aromas they smell to the interaction they have with other guests and the service staff. These elements all culminate as they would in any theatrical performance. There's a beautiful drama that should unfold at the table throughout the meal or at the bar throughout the meal. The service professional has at his or her disposal multiple opportunities to add theatrical elements. The perfectly timed arrival to the table. Is it important to make sure that the food gets to the guests on time, even if they're eating at the bar? Yeah. You hear that bell, or somebody calls, or however you are alerted, you need to go get it. Hot food hot, cold food cold, right? Throughout the meal. The perfectly timed, the ability to craft and create a culinary or cocktail journey for the guests in the manner in which they carry themselves mentally and physically throughout the meal. These all add to the drama and to the experience. A good drama, a show, a performance. Your guests are paying for it. It makes the food and the drinks taste better. And this is the last part. Guests should feel as if something magical just took place and they want more of it. And that's the experience that you can provide and create for your guests. Did I just jump? Wow. Wow. I want to thank Paul, Samia, and George, and all of you. Thank you all for being here, seriously. I truly appreciate it, and I hope there's something of value that I shared with you. The book is $25. We have partnered with 3 Square Food Bank. Every book that we sell, we are giving $3 to 3 Square. So in addition to having a fantastic guide that you will look to over and over again, you are also contributing to helping our food insecurity here in Southern Nevada. I welcome you to come take a look at the book, ask any questions. Last thing, we do a blog every week called Soup Fly. It's a metaphor for something bad that could happen in a restaurant or a dining experience. Soup Fly. If you are interested in signing up for the newsletter or for the blog, you're welcome to do that. And we're starting to do some free seminars. So if I have your contact information, I will share everything that we are doing. And God bless you all for being here. Cheers.